there's probably no better way to explain it or start the conversation, but food is wonderful. Food is great. If you don't like food, then you've not had a good bite. You've not had a good plate. Food is something I remember coming home to, and it was a love language. I was under the impression when I was growing up that your parents loved you, people loved you, is when they start off asking, "Are you hungry? Have you eaten enough?" Those kind of phrases are very fun, and it's like an endearment. Or whenever someone offers you a bite, offers you a drink, I found that growing up to be a form of love language, to where you could be mad at each other, you could be upset, but as long as you hear that, you have some understanding that they do care about you at the end of the day, and that's very fun. It's very cool to where food is very transformative. It's very fun. I am in love with food. Food comes before anything else because food is a great way to start your day and fuel your body. But it can also be a little misguided. You can have your junk foods, and junk foods can definitely wreck your body years later. Food is essentially the brick and mortar of how you're going to be 5 years from now, 30 years from now. It's a drastic, you can have a drastic change in lifestyle because of food. And I love food. There's not really, I'm sorry for the code open, there wasn't really a good way to explain it. On the paper it says, favorite foods growing up and how they changed over time. And food does definitely change over time. I remember not liking avocados. I remember when I was 5, I had an avocado from my mom. My mom gave me an avocado because she had an avocado. I was in the bathroom after. I had food poisoning apparently from a bad avocado. So as 5, I was traumatized from having avocados. And it took a friend of mine, it took someone else to safely introduce to me avocados again. And I had the benefit of the doubt that if they had it, I had it. For some reason, I had the bad association to where I had an avocado after my mom gave it to me, so that means I'm going to get sick. I did not want that to happen. So, in high school or college, someone gave me an avocado. I liked it. Food changes, food tastes definitely happen over time. It is timeless, because if you look at my diet, normally on a day to where I don't care about like the caloric intake or the diet that I have, I love rice. I love ramen. I love pho. I love Korean barbecue. I love hot pot. Sorry, there's almost a few things that I don't not like. I've come to a point in my age to where I like a lot of food. I like foods to where it is a medium of which it brings people together. I love food where it shows a form of love. One of my favorite foods is definitely this dish. Fried rice is a very easy dish to make in the Asian community, and I remember growing up with fried rice. Sorry. I grew up with fried rice because at the end there'd be times at the end of the week to where my mom would have food scraps, like she would have like unshapen vegetables. She would have like bargain meat. Like I eat bargain meat. Bargain meat's good if you eat it as quickly as possible. I have bargain meat with my chicken and broccoli diet. I'm starting a broccoli and chicken diet because it's kind of like it's kind of famous for being an easy dieting plan, and you can lose weight technically, but chicken and broccoli has marked down chicken that I'm eating immediately. I'm going to eat very quickly in the next couple of days, or 2 days, depending on my diet. So, however, when I get to fried rice, my mom always had those like misshapen vegetables. She would always roast these onions. She would peel the onions, and she would have it roasting in our conventional oven or on top of our electric stovetop. Normally, back at our original, we used to live in Des Moines, and we had a gasoline stovetop. So she would always have like fresh flames, and I don't know why she didn't just over time went to a situation where she can have a setup in the backyard to roast these vegetables. But she would roast these vegetables and then chop them up and then add it in to the mixture of whether it be pho or fried rice. And whenever we had fried rice at the end of the week, it was like a treat because it was easy to make. We could have almost as much as we want, and I felt loved. I enjoyed it. It was greasy, but love was measured by how much grease you had. It was almost funny because I say that, but it's also disgusting to others. It was very cheap to make, honestly. You just have you have your tofu, you have your choice of protein, and then your vegetables. And we would always have rice. Rice is a staple in my diet because it's a fond memory that I have despite everything going on, despite the relationship we've had in the past, despite my emotions towards my parents, towards my family, towards people who disliked me in school. There'd be a lot of differences, but food was a great way to forget about what was going on, because for a moment in time, food meant you was sharing a meal with someone. And I do dislike the fact that I'm thinking about my favorite foods, right? And I'm supposed to talk about my pho and my fried rice, but it's pronounced pho, not pho, number one. But also, at the very least, despite whatever was going on with my family, I found that food was a great way for us to get together, to be in each other's companies, despite what was going on. My brother may sometimes have part of his food and then bring it upstairs. And so would my mom sometimes, because she would eat a little bit and then she would go upstairs, watch her dramas. But for my dad and I still loved that, at the very least, despite what my brother and my mom did, my dad had the initial foresight to still stay home. He would still sit at the table with me. We would eat together, and I love that. I love that very much, to where it actually cemented the idea that I want to at least being able to share a meal with someone. It was a form of love. It was a love language to just wait until everyone was at the table, eat together, and you wouldn't leave the table until the last person finished eating. And that was a form of way to spend time together. And I loved it. I loved that my dad, at the very least, gave me that implementation. I enjoyed food more because my dad was there. Sorry, again. I'm in the mid. I'm feeling mid. I may feel like a measly, but I'm okay. I feel honestly okay because my mental capacity does not match my physical capacity, and I'm running on mental game. Number one. But also, pho was something that my mom made, and she's also made a lot of foods, like mapo tofu. She cooked catfish with the same ingredients as mapo tofu, and I really enjoyed it. I love mapo tofu. I love the food that my mom made, but I'll admit, in hindsight, in 2020, she cooked with a lot of sugar and salt because she looked sugar and pepper, because her taste buds were not good. I'll admit, the longer she was cooking, the more she was actually losing a sense of taste, I think, because honestly, there was so much sugar in her diet that it's giving her problems right now. But I'm sorry. This is a episode about food. Despite all those dietary after effects, for the time, Pizza Hut was very good. Pizza Hut and KFC were great for us because it was also technically we never ordered pizza as much as we did, but when we ordered Pizza Hut, majority of the time, we always ended up getting their sides the moment they introduced chicken, like the wings, the sides, and even though we had an order of cheesy bread, we had an order of pizza with the cheese. We always ended up buying foods nowadays that came to where, at that time, it became more of things we bought as rice accessories. The fried chicken at KFC, very good. It definitely did help with the whole. It really laminated my love for rice because my mom and dad always found things to eat with rice because it was affordable and it was very cost effective. So eat what you will. But that was definitely what I enjoyed eating when I was younger. Sorry. I actually do kind of want some pho. I want some ramen. Because when I grew up, it was always a situation where when I was feeling sick, kind of like what I'm feeling right now, I'm feeling nasally. There's a thing in my throat. And whenever we had that feeling, she would always make jiao, which is rice porridge. So she would always make jiao. And I loved the times so when she made jiao, she would definitely pack in the pepper. She would like put in a lot of pepper in it. Sure, fine. Makes my throat burn, which in theory makes me feel better because it's good for you. But also, I always loved it when she always cracked an egg. She would get a bigger bowl. She loves giving large portions to us, which also affected my weight. But it was good. I had a lot of good food. So she would always like crack an egg or two, and she would whip it up. She would whip it up very well. And she would then pour it in the bowl. The eggs at the bottom of the bowl. She would scoop the hot jiao into the bowl, and the idea was the freshly hot jiao would cook the egg. So the whole routine would be egg, jiao, and we would mix it around. We would mix it up until the whole thing turned yellow because of the egg, and then it'd be a spoonful of soy sauce, and it would sometimes be Worcester sauce. So it was a whole lot of things that add with our jiao. We would eat it up. It was very good. It was the whole idea of like plain foods helping us get better, and I really loved it. I loved the idea that my parents showed love through food despite everything going on. And it was fun because sometimes I remember one of our rice accessories was a time where we went to Costco, and my dad had a fun idea of like buying the Costco lamb. Lamb would be like almost like a bi-monthly thing to where we go to Costco, he sees the lamb, he eyes it, he buys it, and then we would cook up the lamb and have it along with rice. It was very good. We also ended up putting it in our pho to make it pho lamb and lamb pho, and it was good. It was gamey. It was my first experience with lamb was because of my dad introducing it in our food as a rice accessory, as a pho dish. It was, for a time, it actually was a very great distraction. I then later enjoyed a lot of potatoes. My favorite type of French fry is kind of the kind of fries that it's the same fry batter, honestly, that comes in like the curly fries. I remember during college at Bellevue College, there'd be like Fries Friday to where they would sell a particular set of fries, and they were the same kind of fries that you'd get at Arby's, at Jack in the Box, but straight. It would be uncurled curly fries, but it was good. It was a lot better than the generic potato fries and steak fries. And I enjoy steak fries. However, I do enjoy McDonald's fries. McDonald's fries has a lot of memory for Joanna and I. And I really like the last French fry bit where it has all the grease. So that again, that explains why it's an after effect. Afterwards, like in hindsight, the grease has affected my skin and my body. However, for a time, it was a moment where it was very good. Food was a fuel and a medium of which we loved each other. I have a soft spot for a McDonald's restaurant in Hazen in Renton because that was also a place where Joanna and I would go often. She has a lot of fond memories of French fries because Lola would always come home with it, and it's a good memory. We always, around the anniversary of like his birthday, we always get like a boatload of fries because that's what her grandpa always did for her. So it's very fun. It's very good, very sweet on us, and we always get a cake for certain reasons. I enjoy spoiling ourselves. Food. This is a food episode. I'm going to talk about food. Food memories are good. Food memories definitely set you up for a good time despite everything. And I'm going to eat chicken and broccoli in a little bit because that's a part of my diet. But I love the simplicity of this diet, and I'm okay eating the same thing almost every day. I grew up doing that. And I know that we had some tough times when I was growing up, but in this food episode, I really enjoyed that I had the opportunity to have dim sum with family. I actually I used to dislike chicken feet. I used to dislike chicken feet to where it looked so foreign. It looked very alien. Because it's just cartilage. It's bone and cartilage. But I would see my dad, I would see my mom. They grab it like hotcakes. They would eat it. They would have it play in their mouth because you're supposed to eat the cartilage off the bone and then spit in the bowl. I was very confused. I let them have it. Balut was also a weird thing to have. It is a look up balut if you can, but essentially it was fun eating it. It's the embryo of the egg was very fun to have. The only way I can eat it was with salt and pepper, a little bit of soy sauce, and for me, I couldn't look at the food. I couldn't just look at it and think about it. Because it forced me, I'll admit, when I eat balut, I have to scarf it down because I don't want to think about it. However, during the time that I'm chewing it and eating it, I like it. I like the flavor. There's a texture to it, like it's chewy sometimes, but I enjoy chewy things. It's like the same kind of chewing muscles that you get from bubblegum or something like that. But balut's good. I like balut. Balut is a funny food because in Fear Factor with Joe Rogan would have made a segment to where eat this balut and you get $10,000. And there's a lot of people that didn't like balut, so it's funny to where, dude, give me 10, I'll eat it, and like it's an easy challenge for Southern Asians, for Asian people. It's so fun. Food is a great medium. It's when I had dim sum, I don't mind the dumplings. I don't mind the hakao sumais. That's actually funny. My parents, whenever we went to dim sum, my mom would always order hakao sumai all the time. Every time we get like hakao sumai would be coming in like trains, like a trolley every time. And there are egg tarts. I love egg tarts. I love egg tarts because it's just like it's just eat it. I can't describe it. I have not had dim sum with hakao sumai or with egg tarts in a while, but I love it. I wish when I went to dim sum in California, I had that, but I'll have it next time. We have a Top Gun somewhere. We have hot pots. We have dim sum somewhere. I'll get it there. And yeah, I really enjoy food. Honestly, if you want to break the ice with somebody, I really suggest going out and getting food together. Getting food is a great medium because for a moment in time, you're distracted. You're distracted with good company. You're distracted with hopefully good foods. And I would recommend a good meal. that's all the time that I have for today. Thank you so much for listening. I am very sorry for the couple of coughs that I had, but the longer I talked about it, the more I had food memories coming up. So honestly, I loved it. I love talking about food, and despite everything going on, I love the moments where my mom introduced me to food. We had food in New York. I got a chance to have Boston cream pie in Boston. It was a fun novel thing, but I need to end the episode. Thank you so much for watching. Socials down below. For audio listeners, it's in the description. Yeah, thank you so much for watching and listening. As always, my name is Tyler. I'm your friend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.